where I say, and I've said on television, and you're going to see other people saying it, but if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't a damn mongoose. Now, several teams have reportedly reached out to James for workouts. So far, he's declined all of them. Guess who has the 55th pick in the second round of the NBA draft?
You know what's crazy? In a sport where being tall is everything, a 5'8" guy is making headlines. Yuki Kawamura isn't just playing basketball, he's revolutionizing it. And get this, he's doing it against guys who are literally a foot taller than him. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Imagine being in a forest of redwoods and somehow you're the one everyone's looking up to. That's Yuki on the court. He's not just holding his own, he's running the show. How's he doing it? That's what we're about to break down. And trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. You know what's crazy? A 5'8" high guy is making waves in the NBA. That's Yuki Kawamura. Picture this. Kawamura walking into an NBA gym for the first time. All eyes are on him, and you can practically hear the whispers. Is this guy lost? Did he take a wrong turn at the ticket office?
Now, several teams have reportedly reached out to James for workouts. So far, he's declined all of them. As opposed to the 98th, why do I bring up that? Why is the magic number 54? Let me try to keep my composure here and be cool about this.
But Yuki's not lost. He's exactly where he's meant to be. Let's rewind a bit and talk about how this Japanese sensation ended up on an NBA court. Kawamura's journey started in Japan's B-League, where he wasn't just good, he was on another level. Get this. He snagged both MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season. That's like hitting a home run and catching a touchdown pass in the same game. It just doesn't happen. His stats were off the charts. Kawamura was averaging 20 points and 7 assists per game, making defenders look like they were stuck in quicksand. He was zipping past guys a foot taller than him like they were standing still. And that's when NBA scouts started paying attention. At first, they probably thought it was a fluke. A 5'8" guy dominating in Japan? Sure, but could he hang with the big boys in the NBA? Turns out, Yuki was more than ready to prove them wrong. In his workouts, he was outrunning, outgunning, and flat out embarrassing guys who towered over him. The Memphis Grizzlies saw something special in Kawamura. They saw a guy who could change the game, who could make their team better just by stepping on the court. So they took a chance. They signed him, proving that in the NBA, heart can be just as important as height. But signing with the Grizzlies was just the beginning. Kawamura had to prove he belonged, that he wasn't just some novelty act. And boy, did he deliver. In his first preseason game, he came off the bench and immediately made an impact. He was threading passes through gaps that shouldn't even exist, finding teammates before they even knew they were open. But threading impossible passes was just the start of Kawamura's magic show. Imagine being the shortest guy on the court, surrounded by towering defenders, yet still managing to steal the spotlight. That's exactly what happened in Kawamura's next game, and it left both teammates and opponents scratching their heads in disbelief. Picture this. Kawamura steps onto the court for his first real NBA preseason game. The arena's buzzing, and all eyes are on him. You can practically feel the tension in the air. He's not just facing taller opponents. He's looking up at guys who could use him as an armrest. How's he gonna compete? That's the question on everyone's mind. But then, something incredible happens. Kawamura starts moving, and it's like he's playing a completely different game. He's zipping around defenders like they're standing still. His speed and agility are off the charts. 1 second, he's at the top of the key, the next he's somehow under the basket, dishing out a no-look pass that leaves everyone stunned. You've got to see it to believe it. Kawamura's highlight reel from that game is insane. There's this one play where a 7-footer tries to block his shot. Most guys would get swatted into next week, right? Not Yuki. He fakes left, spins right, And before the big man can even react, Kawamura's already scored. It's like watching a magician perform his best trick. But here's the craziest part. It's not just 1 or 2 plays. Kawamura's doing this all game long. By halftime, he's racked up more assists than some guys get in a whole game. His court vision is next level. He's seeing passing lanes that shouldn't even exist, threading the needle with pinpoint accuracy. The reactions from his teammates and opponents say it all. You see guys on the bench jumping up, shouting, pointing at Kawamura like they can't believe what they're seeing. Even the opposing coach is shaking his head, but you can see a little smile there too. It's like they're all thinking, how is this 5 vice quite? While everyone's still trying to figure out how Kawamura dominates at his height, there's something even more impressive going on. It's not just his physical skills. This guy's got a secret weapon that's leaving NBA veterans scratching their heads. What could make a 5'8" player so unstoppable? Let's break it down. Kawamura's not just fast, he's playing the game like he's got a crystal ball. It's like he can see 3 moves ahead. You watch him on the court, and it's not just his speed that stands out, it's the way he moves, the decisions he makes. He's not reacting to the defense, he's making them react to him. Here's the thing. Kawamura's reading defenses faster than some guys can tie their shoes. He's spotting weaknesses, finding gaps, and exploiting them before anyone else even realizes they're there. It's like he's got a supercomputer in his head, constantly calculating angles, speeds, and probabilities. You want to see something crazy? Check out his no-look passes. Most players, when they do a no-look, they're just hoping their teammate is where they think they are. Not Kawamura. He's throwing passes to spots where his teammates aren't even at yet, but by the time the ball gets there, boom, they've arrived, wide open, easy bucket. And it's not just passes. His shot selection is insane. You'd think a shorter guy would struggle to get his shot off, right? But Kawamura's always finding these little pockets of space, these split-second windows where he can get a clean look. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. The coaches are going nuts over this guy. You hear him in interviews talking about Kawamura like he's some kind of basketball savant. They're saying things like, he sees the game differently, and he's always 2 steps ahead. One coach even said, it's like he's got the cheat codes to basketball. But here's where it gets really interesting. Kawamura's not just impressing on the court, he's changing how the whole team plays. You watch the Grizzlies now, and it's like they're all starting to think like him. The pace is quicker, the passes are sharper, and everyone's moving without the ball. It's like Kawamura's basketball IQ is contagious. While Kawamura's changing the Grizzlies' play style, there's an even bigger challenge he's facing. Picture this, a 5'8" guy trying to defend a 7-footer in the paint. Sounds impossible, right? Well, Kawamura's doing something that's making NBA veterans shake their heads in disbelief. Let's talk about the physical demands of the NBA. It's not just about being tall, it's about speed, strength, and endurance. These guys are running up and down the court for 48 minutes, battling for rebounds and taking hits that would make a linebacker wince. And Kawamura, he's right there in the thick of it. You might think a guy his size would get crushed, but Kawamura's got a secret weapon, his training regimen. This dude is in the gym more than some people are in their own homes. He's not just working on his basketball skills. He's turning himself into a lean, mean basketball machine. We're talking strength training, agility drills, and endurance work that would make most people cry uncle. But here's where it gets really interesting. Kawamura's not trying to be a 7-footer. He knows he can't grow a foot overnight. Instead, he's using his size to his advantage. On defense, he's like a pesky mosquito you just can't swat away. He's always there, always in your face, always ready to snatch the ball if you let your guard down for even a second. You want to see something crazy? Watch Kawamura defend a pick and roll. Most guys his size would get flattened by the screen. Not Yuki. He's slipping around those screens like he's made of smoke. And when he's guarding bigger players in the post, He's using his low center of gravity to his advantage, making it nearly impossible for them to back him down. The stats don't lie, folks. Kawamura's averaging 2 steals a game in the preseason. That's more than some of the league's best defenders. And get this, he's even blocking shots. Not many, mind you, but the fact that a 5'8" guy is swatting away shots in the NBA is mind-blowing. His teammates are taking notice too. You hear them in interviews talking about how tough Kawamura is. They're using words like scrappy and relentless. One of the Grizzlies' big men even said, "I'd rather go up against another 7-footer than try to score on Yuki. At least I can see over the other guy." You know what's crazy? Yuki Kawamura is proving that size doesn't matter in the NBA. This 5'1" stay. Dynamo is changing the game, showing that heart and skill can beat height any day. He's not just playing, he's dominating, making guys a foot taller look like they're stuck in mud. Kawamura's story is shaking up the NBA. People are starting to realize that maybe, just maybe, we've been looking at basketball all wrong. It's not about how high you can reach, it's about how smart you can play. The future's looking bright for our Japanese sensation. Keep your eyes on Yuki Kawamura, folks. He's not just playing in the NBA, he's rewriting the rulebook. Who knows? Maybe we'll see more 5'8" superstars lighting up the court soon. Now that would be something.